Had been named, but Quinn went on to the New York Rangers in the NHL, so Hastings will take over. It's happened a few times over the years in Canada. For the 09 tournament, Benoit Gros was to be the head coach. He took a pro job, and so Pat Quinn stepped in. He won a gold medal in Ottawa.
Turned out pretty nicely. Pat had also coached the U18 team when they won the gold medal in 2008 in Kazan.
Michael Rasmussen works in. Got a goal and an assist against the Finns. The Canadians do not have players playing 3 games in 3 days. The United States has a dozen who have been in the lineup for all 3 days, including Jack Hughes, who will play with his brother Quinn. Quinn had a brilliant...
For their junior teams and for Canada. They were all members of the 2017 Olympic gold medal winning team. Kevin Ball as well.
Quinn Hughes brings that around, back at the point for Kemp, back to Hughes. And Hughes spins away from Nick Suzuki. The Vegas first-round pick. Cody Glass in the Canadian lineup today as well. 2 first-rounders for Vegas. And back at center ice, here is Hughes. The Vancouver first-round pick drops it back to Cotter. He got bumped there by Suzuki. And in comes Paul Cotter, the Vegas 4th-round pick. He got knocked off stride. And now Suzuki chips it out for Hughes. Watched by Moran. Quinn Hughes, a quick pass for Cotter. Middle finds Oliver Wallstrom, a backhand shot. That goes wide. It's over the years for the U.S. government. An elite prep school in the Boston area. O'Brien's heading to Providence College this fall and was a first-round pick of the Flyers in the last NHL draft.
We think about the 1988 draft with Jeremy Roenick, a high school player, 7th overall.
Now Hughes plays it across, and Quinn Hughes sets up O'Brien. He's turned away by Welsh. Last year in the Ontario League, a first-round pick of the Dallas Stars. And now Tkachuk comes back with Farabee and Hughes. The drop pass for Jack Hughes, that's broken up. Liam Foudy ahead for Cody Glass. And Michael Rasmussen, bouncing puck in front, poked away by Farabee, Petrelli rather. And here's a chance for Liam Foudy. Greg, you think playing on a line with Glass and Rasmussen, 2 guys who will be on the team if they're available. Glass doesn't make Vegas, and Rasmussen's not with the Red Wings. Here's a chance for Foudy to show himself on the top line. And here he comes. Foudy with a backhand shot goes high and wide. A penalty coming to Team USA. Oh, look out after the United States is changing. Brady Tkachuk comes back on. Can't wait to see Brady and Matthew Tkachuk play against each other. You know they won't hold back. In comes Quinn Hughes, centers it. Brady Tkachuk knocked off stride. And picked back up by Anderson.
Well, again, we talk about August hockey, and certainly there's no stakes at play here. But these players are all big-time competitors, and when they get out on the ice, they're going to compete, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
Hughes gave it away. Tkachuk takes it back, though. Tkachuk to Jack Hughes. In across the line. Hughes drops it off to Farabee. Back in front for Hughes. And a collision in front. The puck goes free to Entwistle. And Mackenzie Entwistle breaks it across for Fry. Farabee picks it off for Team USA. Back across the ice he goes for Hughes.
You play with your team, and I can't emphasize it enough how Hockey Canada, USA Hockey are watching the players all the time.
Right.
And just keep playing and playing well, and you'll get an opportunity, and then it's up to you to take advantage of it. And Jack Studnicka has done that to get on the radar for Hockey Canada. He's a good, strong player in Oshawa.
He'd have been Studnicka over Poprad.
Yeah.
That's how they pronounce it there. Sure it was back in his lineage as well at one point. Rasmussen for Glass. Foudy busting in as well. And back to pick it up is Jack Drury. He got knocked off stride. And Joseph trying to hold the line does, but Canada's got to tag up. Pass for Connor out of his reach.
Ski Cup of players that, you know, may not have been at the U17, but Hockey Canada doesn't stop evaluating the players. USA Hockey doesn't evaluate. You might not be ready at a certain stage or a certain period, but they're looking for the best players, and if you show that, you're going to get there.
Well, the example we've often talked about, Craig, is Jordan Everett.
Open.
Tkachuk needed a shovel there, not a stick. As Bowers works in, drops it back, and then shot fired high and wide by Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Farabee up for mismatch. That's broken up by Studnicka. Steps around Jack Hughes. Francois Morin picks it back up for Canada. Looks back at Wu, goes the other way for Bowers. Back to Wu. Across he goes for Bernard Docker. And now Wu a long shot. A save made by Petrozelli.
He was electrified.
And Robertson brings it back in. The reason you make the comparison is that LaFontaine was equally proficient at scoring goals and making plays. And it depended who he played with and what the situation was. But LaFontaine was a 50-goal scorer. He could also put up 100 assists.
Look at the year that Alexander McGillney had. He doesn't have that year unless you're playing with somebody in the middle of the ice like Pat LaFontaine.
Well, LaFontaine was a right-handed shot, but there's so many similarities the way they skate, the elusiveness, the vision.
My favorite little thing about, well, I should say, one of my favorite little things about Pat LaFontaine versus the Russians became really instrumental.
A real question about the goaltending as well. You'd have to think Michael DiPietro has the inside track on the top job. He was in the camp last year. Went to the World Championship as Canada's third goaltender. So Canada will not have a returning goaltender or a returning D-man in Vancouver. McIsaac, a long shot, tip scored. Michael Rasmussen gets his stick on that, and Canada leads by 2. We're eligible for the next year's draft. The United States doesn't tend to send its top players because they're with the National Team Development Program. They don't compete in that tournament. They'll still send players. The spring IHF under-18 tournament, the U.S. sends its under-18 team, its top prospects. Canada, for the most part, doesn't because they're still playing in the Canadian Hockey League playoffs.
Yeah, all the players are not available to Canada in April, whereas they're all available to Canada in August.
So Canada dominates the Holinka tournament. The United States dominates the spring under-18.
Yeah.
Score! Long shot. Pinball's in. He sends it ahead. Here comes Oliver Wahlstrom. Wahlstrom. Long shot. And the save made by Welsh. Josh Norris feeds it back to Quinn Hughes. Dances in front of Rasmussen. Hughes still with it. Throws it back, and Norris is backing him up, but he couldn't reach the pocket. Josh Norris back for it. Norris.
OHL, a draft pick of the LA Kings. From Peterborough.
Studnicka swings back.
And I think Dave Tomlinson, who who does radio for Vancouver 1040.
And walk-in score. Studnicka makes it 5-1 Canada. You couldn't afford a loss in a lot of cases, as Bowers brings it back. But you didn't get a true gold medal game, and a couple of times teams clinched the gold medal even on off days.
Canada wouldn't have been playing.
2-on-1 now. O'Brien along with Robertson. O'Brien walks it and scores. Jay O'Brien snaps it by Welsh, who allows 2 goals on 13 shots, gives way to 19-year-old Matthew Villalta of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, a 3rd-round pick of LA in 2017.
Team USA goal scored by number 22, Jay O'Brien. The assist number 13.
So the United States will be in a pool with Sweden, Slovakia, Finland, Kazakhstan in Victoria. And the seedings are decided based on finish the year before. So Canada will be with the Czech Republic, Denmark, Switzerland, and Russia. So the United States in a tougher pool, you'd have to say, with Swedes and Finns with them, and Slovakia. Peyton works in. Plays it rink wide for Foudy. And the trick is don't get upset in the preliminary round. You get yourself a bad quarterfinal matchup. We saw that in Montreal in 2015. Canada beat the United States on New Year's Eve. The U.S. gets Russia in the quarters. Glass winds his way in. Cody Glass with a chance. Shoots from a sharp angle. And Primo makes the stop. I'm surprised that a guy like Keith Primo, who played as long as he did, would allow his kid to be a goalie. Rasmussen walks in and Primo makes the stop.
It's interesting is that people don't know.
United States will open against Slovakia and box it in, then take on Kazakhstan, Sweden, and close the round robin against the Finns on New Year's Eve. Farabee down to Jack Hughes. Bulls back in front. And a penalty coming out of Canada.
With Jared Anderson, Dolan, and Stanicka's looked really good. So
Jack Hughes winds his way in for Farabee. Drops it back for Quinn Hughes. Knocked back into the shot taken there by Keane. That was blocked by Bernard Docker. Keane back across to Quinn Hughes. Shoots net. Went off the stick of Stanicka. Might have gone off his hand, actually. He's kind of giving the right hand a shake. And now back is Quinn Hughes again. Walks it and fires it through the traffic. Villalta makes a stop. Keane slaps it around. Farabee down to Tkachuk. Tkachuk back to Keane. In he comes. Keane shoots. It ramps off a stick. Up and out of play. Back to Michigan for his sophomore year. After being drafted by the Canucks 7th overall. One shot on goal for the U.S. in that power play. McIsaac comes back on. Different rules for college players than for junior players when they get drafted. In the case of a Quinn Hughes, he would be eligible for unrestricted free agency if he spent 4 years in college. And Quinn Hughes winds it and shoots. And Villalta makes the stop. The puck still loose. Score! Picked out at Cates. Fires it by, and now pushing and shoving breaks out to the left of Matthew Villalta, and it's now a 5-3 Canadian lead.
outstanding play by Noah Cates. He takes the stick between his legs to give himself a little bit more room to score the goal. That's real presence of mind and some real slick hands here, but they jam up the net, get the puck through again. There's Quinn Hughes being able to make plays and threaten at the net. Then you watch Cates. There it is. Nice little slick move.
So Cates, who played last year for Omaha of the United States Hockey League, going to Minnesota Duluth this fall, has cut the Canadian lead to 2. And Josh Norris to face things off. I mentioned these teams are not in the same group at the World Junior Championship in Vancouver, so their next meeting after this, if they play in the 2019 tournament, will be in the medal round.
So you were just talking about Ivan Provorov. I think the most impressive thing about him was he knew that Ray Ferrell scored 108 goals.
He did.
Brandon.
Well, he played in Brandon, so he's probably heard about it.
They said that it's right on the wall where the exercise room was, so he always rode the bike and he memorized the wall of all the accomplishments of the Brandon Wheat Kings players over the years.
And if you didn't read about it, Ray'd be happy to tell you about it. So. And intimidating, as you talked about, to play with top players.
Yes.
And you often defer to them, right?
Human nature.
Here's O'Brien back with it. Out the center ice to Robertson. Slides it across to Quinn Hughes, who's jumped in. In comes Hughes. Dissects the play, sets it up, walks in, long wrist shot, save made, rebound, score! Jay O'Brien's got his second, and the United States is back within 1.
Canada 5, Philadelphia Flyers prospects 4. What a play, though, by Quinn Hughes. And you watch Quinn Hughes in the skating, but everything allows him with his skating, with his feet work, with his agility, to always be in a position to make a play. So whether it's being elusive or quickly turning and facing the play and recognizing, hey, I get this puck to the net, it's exactly what Quinn Hughes can do. Jay O'Brien gives himself the room to pick up that loose puck and have a lot of net to work with, and game on.
And the goaltending's goalie interference thing is really something.
Scored by number 5, Addison.
So Addison, who scored 11 goals this year for the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the Western Hockey League. Now Stanicka taken down by Quinn Hughes. And moments after taking the 2-goal lead, Canada rule. And of course, the sooner he gets his name on a contract, the sooner the clock starts ticking on things like arbitration, free agency. Suzuki works in a backhand shot that triples wide. Suzuki back with it. No shots for Canada on that power play. Remains 6-4 here in the third period. Anderson Dolan drops it down to Nick Suzuki. If you get a chance, Mark Masters did a terrific piece on Jared Anderson Dolan, his terrific parents.
Fran and Nancy. Jared's just a really determined, high energy leader, wants to be at the front of the line.
Penalty coming to Canada now as Jet Wood. United States on the power play. Jack Hughes. There's another Quinn on it. Kachuk out there with Farabee and Keane. Here's Keane with it at the point. Across to Quinn Hughes. Keane down to Jack Hughes. Quinn Hughes drops it back to Keane. Diagonal pass down to Farabee. Quinn Hughes with it. Kachuk parked right in front of Villalta. From a sharp angle, there's the shot by Jack Hughes. Prospect, so Frost can get it on the act. They've been a really good drafting team for a long time in Philadelphia.
They have.
Really good.
And, you know, you thought in all the different rounds, too.
Got Shane Goss to spare late. Farabee. Free agency not so kind to the Flyers. As Farabee centers it, Kachuk plays it back across. Jack Hughes missed. Hughes had the open net and flipped it wide. They'll be paying Ilya Brizgalov well into the next decade on the buyout.
It's that competitive thirst. You think the one player, you need them, you're willing to move heaven and earth to acquire them. And
Farabee drops it back to Kachuk, comes walking right in. Jack Hughes has it bounce off his stick. Keane back to Quinn Hughes. In the corner for Farabee. Back to Hughes. Now McIsaac's lost his stick. Here's Quinn Hughes. Plays it back to Kachuk for Farabee. Farabee winds back in the corner. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Quinn Hughes. Around Bowers. Pivots back in the dying seconds of the power play. Plays it back across. In comes Keane. Drops it back to Jack Hughes. Power play's over. And Hughes unloads on that. Kicked away by Villalta.
no, Gord, I remember going out to the prairies. Portland had come out to the prairies early in the season.
Chance now for Connor walking in. Save made by Villalta.
I was on the prairies early in the season as Portland was making their eastern swing, and it was unbelievable. Right, like it was like he was like this whole new player that you hadn't seen on display at the U18 Canada camp.
Now Bowers with a steal, works it and shoots, and Primo makes the glove save. Back in. U.S. is 0 for 2 on the power play. 2 shots total up. Puck gets by Quinn Hughes, who has to retreat quickly.
Something, isn't it?
See that turn?
So I know the other day I talked about how Scott Niedermayer did so many things with his skating.
That puck went out. The 2000 Stanley Cup Final when New Jersey beat Dallas. And Scott Niedermayer single-handedly broke their fortune.
Well, I was there, Gord, and I can tell you this, is that we never had an answer for Scott Niedermayer. No matter what you tried to do, he had the answer if we didn't.
In comes Jack Hughes with it on the 5-on-3. Centers it for Quinn Hughes. Back to Jack. To Quinn, across to Keane. Quinn Hughes has a look, drops it back. Keane has a look, sends it back door, bounce off the stick of Farabee. Banked around, picked off by McIsaac, but Keane holds the line.
That was a really good read by McIsaac to intercept it.
Now Quinn Hughes crisscrossing with Keane. Stops it down. Jack Hughes, a sharp angle, put that wide. Farabee back to Jack Hughes. To Quinn Hughes. Winds in, has a look and shoots short side, just missed. 40 seconds to go on the first penalty. Jack Hughes drops it down to Kachuk. Try to feed that back. McIsaac broke that up and sends it down the ice.
Really good play by Jared McIsaac. First below the goal line, intercepting the pass. And then right there, real confidence in his positioning.
Now Jack Hughes works back in. Canada gets fresh penalty killers on the ice. 15 seconds to go in the first penalty. Here's Quinn Hughes with it. Drops it across to Walsh. Back to Hughes. Quinn Hughes back to Walsh. Winds and shoots. Villalta makes the stop. Point blank. Back across to Quinn Hughes. Now Jack Hughes, a sharp angle shot. Villalta stops that. And it's cleared to the line and out by Ty Smith. 2 shots on that 5-on-3. Still 15 seconds to go in the penalty to move.
When you know Brent Kissio has Kalen Addison. So when they get on these calls, you know, there's also real information coming about not only their own players, but the players that are playing in their respective leagues, and that becomes really significant as well.
Bill Kemp plays it ahead, brought in now by Chmielewski. That's it. Chmielewski had it taken away. Now Glass steps into Cates. Back to Kemp. To Robertson, to Quinn Hughes. Nifty move there around Glass. And Quinn Hughes still with it. Robertson. Back to Quinn Hughes. Across he goes. Kemp with a quick shot. And Villalta makes a save on that.
There really is no wrong decision, in my view, for Brady Tkachuk.
As you look at who they've got on the ice here late, we'll give you an indication what the coaching staff likes as O'Brien sends it back across and it's flipped back out by Ian Mitchell. Rolls down towards the goal and Bryan gains the line. And Addison collided. Now Primo goes back to the American bench. Jack Hughes picks it out. The extra skater comes on. It's Wallstrom. That long shot goes wide. And the Canadian net is off against Jared Anderson-Dolan for the face-off. Won by the U.S. Hughes wins it back. Quinn Hughes shoots. It's beneath the stick, and now Jack Hughes fires. Save made by Villalta. Rebound clear to the line, but not out. And now, Mikey Anderson couldn't hold it. The play called off.
Kaiser made the decision.
Quinn Hughes ahead for Farabee. And Quinn Hughes, the first minute of the puck. Farabee with it. Joel Farabee. Drops it down. Quinn Hughes, final minute now, the third period. Hughes shoots off the save. Rebound loose in front to jam away, and Wallstrom couldn't reach it.
He had a chance right there. The guy you want to have that chance.
Jack Hughes across to Quinn, back to Jack Hughes. Winding in, drops it down. Wallstrom chipped that wide. Here's Farabee back on it. 45 seconds left in the period. Farabee across to Hughes. Quinn Hughes down to Wallstrom, spins and shoots off the mask of Villalta. That appeared to stagger him somewhat. Net is empty for Suzuki. And Suzuki just lays it down in the corner. But Matthew Villalta's been under siege here in the third period. And Wallstrom goes rink wide for Farabee. In shoots, that goes high. Carpengo shot wide. Farabee picks it up. And Farabee taps it around for Jack Hughes. Centers it. Bouncing puck in front. Tkachuk reaching for it. Now Anderson feeds it down. Wallstrom missed on that. Throws it back in front of the dying seconds. Suzuki banks it off the glass. It'll be icing. The clock has run down. There is time.